guys, give it up for Andy! Yeah!
Keep the microphone in the stand, but make sure you stand close enough that they can hear you.
Okay. In the mid-1990s, I was living in Aberdeen in Scotland. It's on the east coast of Scotland, and I started dating a girl. She was from the west coast of Scotland, but she was living in Aberdeen. After we dated for about 3 weeks, she asked me to go back to her home in Ayr on the west coast of Scotland for her auntie's 60th birthday. So I said, yeah, of course. It's about a 4-hour drive, and the next Friday we left pretty early, we started driving. During the drive, I started getting really nervous and stressed, and I started thinking about all the bad times I'd had meeting girlfriend's parents in the past, and I was getting really worried about it. I'll give you one example. I remember vividly when I was in high school, I had a high school prom. I picked up my date, everything was fine. We started driving. We got about 10 minutes from our house, and she realized that she forgot her handbag. So she said, can we go back to my house to get the handbag? So I drove her back. I went in with her into the house, and she went upstairs to get her handbag. And her dad came in and looked at me really angry. And he said, you took my daughter back to get her handbag? You cheap son of a bitch. So I thought about that big. So let's just say, I didn't know how this was going to go when I got to Ayr. When we actually arrived there, it was about 7 p.m. and the party had already started. My girlfriend took me into the party and started introducing me to all these people that were there. And it turns out she had a huge family. She had loads of aunts and cousins and nieces and nephews. And it turns out that on the west coast of Scotland, your neighbor is effectively your family. They had all their neighbors there. There were so many people. And I found out that I was living on the East Coast. On the East Coast, they're quite conservative, standoffish. Not so on the West Coast. They're really huggy. There are people grabbing me, kissing me, shaking my hand. They're all trying to put a beer or a drink in my hand. Everyone was having a party. It was a great atmosphere. And that's when I met her parents. And when I first met her parents, her dad tried to give me a drink, and I told them I don't drink. And I could see by their reaction, that was a big red flag for them. And I felt, I was a little bit embarrassed, after that. But anyway, soon afterwards, we ended up in the living room, and there's loads of people in the living room. It was just cram-packed. And out of the blue, this guy starts singing, like a rhinestone cowboy. And everybody started singing with him. Like people did the music, people did the vocals, they're all saying, great song. Then another person next to him started singing. When he finished, he said, oh, Danny boy, the lights, the pipes are calling. And then he sang, everyone joined in. By the time I got to the third person who sang The Lady in Red by Krista Berg, I realized this was not random. They were going person to person to person with no exceptions. Oh man, I wanted to get out of there so bad, but my girlfriend had her arm around me and I just couldn't figure out a way to get out of there. I was so nervous because 1, I didn't know anybody there. 2, I don't know the words to any songs. 3, I was the only one there that was sober. And 4, worst of all, people have told me my singing voice, which you already heard, sounds like a cat in a blender. So as it got closer to me, I started panicking. I thought, I gotta have a plan. I gotta think of something. So I tried to think of a song I could sing, and the only song that kept going in my head was Fat Bottom Girls by Queen. And I just knew that was inappropriate. I couldn't do it. I was sweating. So eventually, before I knew it, it was my turn. And I kind of got pushed forward. So I looked around all these 30 people, and I said, I'm really sorry. I can't sing. And my girlfriend's mother stepped forward. She goes, do you think any of us can sing? Come on, get up there, do it. So I said, wait a minute, I don't know the words to any songs. I can't do it. So she said, the girlfriend's mother said, look, just start something off, we'll help you out. Come on, you're here, you have to sing, there's no choice. So I kind of panicked, and suddenly I had a flash of inspiration. So I said, I need a volunteer. And the 60-year-old birthday girl, the aunt, stood up and said, I'll help you, son. So I said, I just need you to do the dance routine along with me when I sing the song, okay? She said, okay. So I said, na 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 na. So my mother-in-law, my girlfriend's mother got really angry. That was a bit presumptuous. She said, that's not a song, son. Come on, you have to sing a song. You're cheating us. Sing a song. So she shoved me forward. And it's at that point that I really messed up. Like you guys can imagine, I'm there meeting my girlfriend's family for the very first time. So what song did I choose to sing? To all the girls I've loved before, who've come in and out my door, I'm glad you came along. I dedicate this song to all the girls I've loved before. So that was my best Julio Iglesias impersonation, but it sounded a lot more like someone else, like a cat in a blender. So anyway, what saved my ass, my girlfriend's father decided to get down on his knees and start singing along with me. And he saved my ass. Otherwise, there was people looking at me with their jaws dropped. They couldn't believe I was singing a song about my ex-girlfriends. So overall, I'd just like to say I'm so grateful for the friendliness of the people of the west coast of Scotland, and I'm particularly grateful for the alcoholic effects on people losing memories of things that happened and also having lower taste in music.